Yes, today we are running something a little bit different. Usually we're doing Star Wars. Today we're not. Today we are doing, well, it's kind of Deadlands-ish. The remit was creepy ass magic horror Wild Wild West shit. So I'm doing that. We're blaming noms for this entirely. Okay, very brief overview of characters, which I'll expect you to expand on. I imagine this is going to take 2 sessions minimum, just as you guys get to know each other in character a bit. Um, we'll start with the person whose fault this all is. Um, Noms be playing Jillian Ward. None of you know exactly what the fuck is up with Jillian, but she's kind of creepy, doesn't talk much, terrible lot of gun, and yeah, she's just kind of. If there's a holy equivalent of Eldritch, she's it. Then there's Reba Stalks the Crossroads. That would be Ethan. Um, her heritage, as it were, is very obvious. Her mother was a kidnapped slave. Her father was from one of the local tribes. She hasn't been exactly clear on which one, because it ain't nobody's business, frankly. And she's effectively a wandering shaman. She's she's between tribes, she's between worlds, she's between just about everything, and basically apparently trying to fix all the shit the white people fucked up. And then there's Aloy O'Toole. This is very obviously not her real name. She appears to be on the run from something. She sounds like she's from up north somewhere. Like, north. She very clearly dyes her hair. Reba would have spent a very interesting hour in the first 2 days of meeting saying, no, you cannot dye your hair with shoe black, you stupid woman, and introduced her to various herbal ways to dye her hair black. So she's very clearly on the run from something. Her and her very large, trundling, mechanical thing that she calls Muffin. Excuse me, allow me to show you Muffin. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Muffin. On the actual. You
It's
probably.
higher up.
Yeah. Scroll
Oh,
up.
well, okay then.
It's about 6 feet long, about that long in leg, and it carries her shit.
Okay.
And it's kind of it listens to her. It'll stomp things on command, but it's weird, and it kind of interferes with that whole she's trying not to be noticed thing. But she will not abandon it because Muffin is her friend.
I
Uh,
like Muffin.
Jillian puts up with her because gunsmith. Uh, in fact, part of the reason she wanders from town to town is that she does do gunsmithing to have the money to stay alive and also find out all the weird magical shit that's going on. All of you have your own reasons for trundling the Western Wastes, identifying and dealing with the weird magical shit that the digging up of the ghost rocks actually provided. Um, Aloy mostly uses those to power Muffin and some of the various other bits of weird she can concoct. And you two are just, okay, she's mostly harmless. We'd better at least keep an eye on her and deal with the people who are actually, like, raising the dead and shit.
That and I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for somebody on the run, for obvious reasons.
I can see that, yes. So, okay, basics of character more or less laid out. Let's let you guys do the talking. You are currently in the fairly comfortable little rat hole, but although kind of small and cramped, called the Hostler's Rest. Jillian's probably been there like once, maybe a while ago. She gives the impression of someone who's been wandering for a while, not on the run, just home. What the fuck's the point? But given that the Western Wastes are big, she's not exactly a regular. Although most people kind of quiet down and eye you all funny when you walk in, just because of the sheer weirdness of the picture that is you. But it's starting to get dark, and unless there's an actual mission, you don't tend to travel too late for reasons. And besides, bars are where you get all the gossip, so probably a good place to stop.
Okay. I wonder what the
Yeah, you guys have been together for like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And it's mostly been traveling, but you haven't exactly really got to know each other all that much
Hmm.
beyond the very basics.
Hmm.
I call getting drinks,
Okay.
and I'm headed to wherever it looks like there are things to be obtained.
Yeah, I'm. One thing I didn't deal with was the currency. I'm gonna say that Aloy has a little bit of a problem because the South didn't fall quite the same way, and Confederate money is still worth something. She's carrying greenbacks.
Oh
She has
shit!
not realized that this might be a giveaway yet, because she is because of reasons. Let's just put it that way. So she's blundered off to the bar with her northern accent and her greenbacks. There's a wiry gentleman with way too much mustache. He looks like a crash dieting walrus. Howdy.
Hi,
He's looking at you from
drink me.
uh he ain't
Oh,
dressed right
that
for
way.
that kind of thing.
No, no, no. I mean, what you got?
It's the looks at it. Given that you just went Scottish for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be all over the place until I stabilize.
It's just beer and whiskey mostly.
Beer.
Y'all gonna expand on that?
Uh, 3 beers. That I'm here with a couple of the people and Muffin. Where's Muffin? Where'd Muffin go? Muffin!
Muffin is stuck in the doorway. What the fuck is that?
Sorry, I built that. That's Muffin. Eat cat stuff.
Oh my god. Okay. At this point, roll me straight charisma, so this guy doesn't freak out and kick you all out. This isn't even persuasion. This is just straight up how much of a sweetheart can you look?
Just a charisma check.
Oh, let me get the right and actually see the
Yeah.
chat.
Whoops.
Yeah, you're gonna have
It's
to
on.
roll. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll again because it's set to advantage. And
Yeah,
let's be
it's
fair.
locked. Let me get that. Let me get rid of that. If I can remember where the hell that's hiding in here.
I have a vague recollection, but I should probably check the rest of yours too, just to be on the safe side. Ah, yes, I see. Advantage toggle. There we go. Go to that little gear wheel icon next to spells. I've done it. I've done it for yours, Noms. I'm gonna do it for yours now, Ethan.
Oh, okay. I was looking for it myself.
Okay.
There it is.
I just did that.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, there it is now.
Yep, got it. You got
Yeah, I'm just
yours,
gonna-
Smeagol?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm hella endearing.
Looks at you. Just it's very clearly pity at this point. but it's
And
better than nothing. And he quite surprised, puts the beers down.
And I'm putting down the unfortunate greenbacks.
Jillian leans back in her chair, watching the bar.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
just nope. No, I've just got this expression on my face, just like, what's this idiot gonna get us into this time? Just waiting for it to blow up. Hopefully, figuratively, not literally. This time.
Looks at the greenbacks. Looks at you. Y'all got any real money?
And I'm like looking over at the rest of the group, like, looking back.
This child.
And yeah,
Jillian
he's holding
sighs
he's holding up a bunch of greenbacks, just like yeah. It's just I ain't got anyone I can give these to. We ain't got many folks using greenbacks passing through this.
Jillian will step
Hell?
up to the bar, slowly looks between the two of them, the
He's
greenbacks
I'm
in
just
his
really
hand,
clearly trying to be nice here.
and then Jillian will fish out some real money.
Thank you. Kindly slides the greenbacks back across the table with this look
Stashing,
really,
stashing,
what the
stashing.
fuck am I supposed to do with this?
And I'm running back to where they were sitting. I'm just gonna let Jillian deal with the beer. I'm not getting into this anymore. No.
The bartender looks at Jillian with this look of, what the fuck did you just bring into my bar? He doesn't say it. He
Jillian-
just gives her the look.
Jillian just gives him a look back. We're gonna need a room as well.
Y'all might squeeze two in if y'all don't mind getting cozy.
That'll be fine.
And
Yeah.
I'm
again,
is at
I'm
another
not.
point.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with the exact currency at this point because it's every now and then. So yeah, you can pay for a room, if that's what you want. But as you probably see, when you look into the room that the key gives you unlocks, there's gonna have to be some floor and some comfy. Yeah, getting really
Cozy.
snuggly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go try and help Muffin through the door.
Give me a strength check.
This child.
Muffin takes a few inches worth of chunk out of the door frame, but manages to scrape, and you can hear the wood splintering, just
Sorry.
click, 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 click.
You couldn't have
I
tied
can
it.
fix that. I can fix that.
The really fun part is going to be when Aloy tries to fit it in the room.
You could.
Hey
Yeah.
there, Muffin. You're okay. Pet, pet, pet.
Bump into Hazel. Aloy, because they're basically the same thing. Point. Well, they are. Just with a little bit more tinkering. It's just sort of clatters up. The legs just sort of fold next to the table and is blocking the corridor. Thunk.
I'm still petting Muffin.
Jillian tries to keep the bartender's attention. Takes a drink, looks at him. Any news?
Well, it's we don't get that much news around here. Well, we have had a bit more business of late, though. the folk passing through families. Which, for Jillian, given how far out you are, not the kind of thing you'd expect.
Didn't know there'd be homesteaders out this far.
They ain't homesteaders, just a family or two now and then. Well, now and then. Every day or two. Been that way for the last nearly a week.
Hmm.
Coming or going?
I don't know. I, I take the money and serve them the food and the drink and send them on their way. One of the perks of the hostler's rest is we try and stay out of other folks' business.
That's fair.
Just
Just
ain't used to serving that many youngins.
curious if there's been trouble of late.
Well, tell you this much. I don't reckon this time of year traveling with under fives is a good idea in general. I mean, some folks who coming in off the off the plains might hear if you're staying the night. It's just a little bit early for them yet.
She just nods. Much appreciated. Takes the beers and heads back to the table.
He's clearly also dealing with food, which is you know, predominantly a sort of a beans and bacon kind of a situation. Very simple food, but it'll keep body and soul together. So yes, Jillian approaches table with beers,
I'm still petting Muffin.
who is still blocking the way into the tavern. Because since you didn't say, I'm kind of assuming you're taking that table.
Hmm.
This gets you a relatively decent view of the bar, but it does now block all of the rest of it. Because there is.
It's just big dogs sitting in the doorway.
Well, it's a creature that classes as
It's a
large.
horse.
It classes as large. So it's kind of shoved the table a little bit against the wall and blocked anybody being able to come in.
Hold on, Muffin.
Because you see,
Over here.
the door is there.
I'm gonna try and see if I can park Muffin over here to the best of my ability.
He's still kind of in the way of the door, because remember, large is like. Well, okay, you probably just about managed to compact Muffin so that he's not blocking the door much. Although nudging him in that direction, you can see the amount of damage he did to the door frame.
I'm gonna need to fix that.
You
Again.
do check your spell list. You have a certain cantrip.
Yeah, and I'm walking over and
Well, basically, you would given what you are, I imagine that your arcane focus for that is effectively a sonic screwdriver.
yep. So I'm walking over there, pulling out a widget, starting to prod the door with it.
You get the barman leaning over the bar, going, "What the fuck?"
I'm fixing it.
This child, this child, this child.
The bartender has just like he's just exceeded his quota of weird.
So-
Barman.exe is no longer responding.
Sonic screwdriver noise.
Yeah, so that's a fun sound for you all. You've probably seen her use this a time or two on the trail, but it's now in an enclosed space.
Jillian's letting her work for
Yeah,
the moment.
if eventually it doesn't take that long because while significant, it's localized. So the 1 foot square means she manages to repair the door frame. Of course, worst part is that he's going to be doing the same amount of damage to get out again.
It's, hope we weren't planning on leaving quickly.
Although, given the look of the barman, you never know.
This child, this.
So yes, Jillian, after glaring at Aloy until she gets Muffin out of the way and fixes the door, sets down the beers and sits down.
Yay, drinks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Mm.
Is Jillian saying anything about her discussion with the barman?
Yes, just leans
Giving
back in her chair, takes another sip. Just looks like we might just be passing through. Barman didn't have much to say. Few families coming through, but if there's any real sign of distress, he doesn't seem very rattled about it. Might take a look past. They have a sheriff's office. Take a look past in the morning. See if there's any
keep in mind
notices.
you're not actually in a town.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You're in a tavern, basically in the middle of between towns.
Oh, okay.
Basically, on the trail, you've got a lot of trail, but some enterprising businessmen basically went. People are gonna be, dry and thirsty. And
It's basically a rest stop with a bar on it.
yeah, effectively, yes. And people who are driving the herds in that general area, and
I've seen the type of thing you're talking about.
yeah. So you're between towns. You just came out of a fairly large, for the area, town, which meant it did actually have a a sheriff's office and and a proper saloon, and it's not like this place.
Did we leave because it was me?
Probably.
Hence the never-ending litany of this child, this child, this child.
To be fair to her, the main reason that you would have left was because there is there would have been a wanted alive poster, which, given black and white, you can't actually see the hair color in, but certainly not black, that looks suspiciously like their friend. At which point Aloy very was gotta go.
So, which town words we going to next?
Whatever's down the road, we go where we will and expect we'll find what we're looking for in time.
I'm sure somebody's done messed something up, and we'll all need to clean it up again. Bloody amateurs.
I got nothing.
I'm sorry, at this point, insight check?
From
Both of you.
okay.
Because that was bullshit right there. Barman could see bullshit from across the room. Do you want to roll deception, dearie?
I'm trying to click away from the. Oh,
Yeah.
right. There we go. Okay, sorry. Insight.
Yeah, y'all can tell. Y'all can tell this is bullshit a mile off.
Yeah, I got nothing is absolute bullshit.
Jillian just gives her a look.
Girl, you're obviously on the run from somebody.
There may have been a poster.
What'd you do? Hey, at least you had to do something to get on the run.
Well, let's just say it involved ghost rocks and someone using hoodoo to make factory workers, and I kind of exploded it.
Jillian just moans a bit.
Apparently, Jilly approves, but
She's not gonna argue.
And I also might have gotten banned from 3 towns.
Well, let's try to keep it from 4.
Just glances over at Muffin.
it tilts his head at Reba.
Pat, pat, pat.
Turns back to Aloy and just.
As you guys are having this conversation, door opens and enter gentleman who looks the kind of brawny that indicates farm gentleman. Uh, rather stockier woman, farmer's wife, quite clearly. And behind them, 2 children, one age 8, one age maybe 4. A 4-year-old, this little girl who walks up to walks in the door. They all look at Muffin, but it's a 4-year-old girl who's doggy,
Yep. Yep.
metal doggy. The farm people are just come away. The mother is clearly quite protective at this point. Nope, nope. Jane, no. They clearly have never been in a saloon in their lives. So they're looking a little bit nervously at the guns and the thing that Aloy calls a thunder cannon.
Just
And they're clearly not entirely sure what to make of Reba, but they're being polite. And mostly they just don't want to start anything, so they're edging very nervously towards the bar and asking about, food, and we don't necessarily need beds, just can we park the wagon outside? Thank you. This is sit at the table in the corner about as far from anybody else as they can get.
Jillian just nods politely as they pass, casually. People watching, eavesdropping.
Well, they've sat quite a ways away, but if you did want to do a perception check,
Yes.
I am
Never
compelled
mind.
to investigate, so I am also doing perception.
yeah, Remy's still waiting on any trail hands who might actually have news, and these people clearly wouldn't have noticed shit, as far as Remy's concerned. Fucking hell, I'm gonna get used to this one of these days. As far
I
as
was going to interrupt,
yeah,
but
as far as Jilly's concerned, they're they're townsfolk. Alloy, not so much. Investigation's more her thing. If she could poke at their stuff, that'd be one thing. But this is looking at them from across the room, and all she really notices is Jane, little girl Jane, sort of leaning over and trying to get Muffin's attention, with the farm wife just going, "No, Jane."
Yeah, I'm like, I wave when I see that, and
You get this very, very nervous, "Don't you dare" look from both farmer and farmer's wife.
sad face.
Jillian kicks Aloy somewhat lightly under the table.
Somewhat
Somewhat
lightly.
See, at least Jillian doesn't have metal boots, unlike some characters.
I suppose she wouldn't be using spurs anymore. At least there's that.
More beer.
So where? So we just keep moving on to the next town.
Seems like it.
All right.
I mean, I kind of wish I could, like, investigate, but
Investigate
but
what? They're a family. They're just traveling. Leave them be.
At which point, Jane goes, "You probably don't want to go to the next town. We don't want to be in the next town." Jane, shut up. Sorry.
Jillian
what's wrong with the next
looks
town?
over her shoulder.
You'd just be better off taking a detour from the wife.
Oh boy.
Mm.
See, now I almost gotta know, but they're saying it's dangerous. But I gotta know, but dangerous. But I need to know.
Jillian, wave Aloy off first, and then
Jillian, go find out what's going on.
yeah,
It sounds
she
like something we're
dots.
going to have to deal with.
Seems like. So she
Once.
goes to the bar, gets another couple bottles of beer, and then somewhat tries to friendly step up to the family. Beers in hand.
There's clearly some nerves, but then again, you've also got Jane going, "You got a gun."
Yes. I don't think she can do the maternal smile, but she'll try.
Why you got a gun?
She,
Are you a sheriff?
not exactly, but kind of close.
The parents were about to step in, but they're kind of trying to figure out what the fuck you meant by that.
She slides the beer to the parents.
Oh.
What was that about a detour from the next town?
And the parents are sort of exchanging looks. We probably don't want to get too far into it. It just we we decided to move on, and it's a nice town mostly. Yeah, except I think that the sheriff and the mayor and everybody went crazy. Jane!
No, it's okay. We'd appreciate knowing, have a better picture of what's going on.
We ain't got a better picture. As she says, it's like it ain't even like they got religion. Not a good kind. Not even the spirit worship kind that I know the folks who had the land before we moved in. This they got all weird over the statue in center town, and people start going missing.
I guess that's why there's been families passing through here as of late.
Well,
Ones that don't go missing start to take off.
some folks decided they'd be better off trying their luck out in the waste, try to find someplace new. We're the first of the farmers to actually go. Most of the farmers wouldn't leave if you paid them.
I understand that. About how long has this been going on?
We only started noticing it a few days ago, but we reckon it's been going on a bit longer than that.
What sort of statue was this that you mentioned? What it look like?
It's just a little girl, the daughter of the man who founded the place.
They've been acting strangely around it.
Ever since old man Markle shot himself in front of it.
Anything else besides
Well,
folk getting weird,
well, one.
disappearing?
Does it really need to be anything else?
Just curious.
Look, I don't know what kind of stuff you all know about, but there's things ever since they dug up the ghost rocks that we just don't really understand. And I don't know if whatever they're doing is supposed to be for the good, but they're dealing with something they don't get, or something else is going on. We don't know. We just didn't want Matthias and Jane to be the next ones missing.
That's perfectly fair. I have to look to your family first.
Yeah, the farm the farmer, the husband said, you know, it's just wasn't easy. I mean, when we settled, wasn't much of a muchness. You know what the soil's like around here. But after the suicide, well, funnily enough, things started getting better. The soil was actually yielding something. And we thought maybe that was the last of the bad, but then everyone started getting weird, and
You said the mayor and the sheriff. Is there anyone else calling the shots out there?
in most towns, has it been your experience that anybody but the mayor and the sheriff call the shots that anyone who's not on the inside can see? If folks are going missing and that kind of thing, it's again gotta look to my family. Getting involved would just put them in the firing line. So I ain't doing it. I'm just getting them clear.
Yeah. What was the name of this town?
They ain't got much imagination. It's just Alice
Sorry, I didn't hear you fast.
Town.
Alice town. Okay. Jillian just nods.
It's about
Thinking, no, never mind.
it's about half a day's ride, probably a day by foot.
Well, I'll leave you to your dinner then. God bless.
They look a little bit more reassured at the God bless, but they're very much sort of huddling their kids up to them. And just, oh, let's see the big metal doggy, Jane. Leave them alone. They're obviously the sorts who get into weirdness.
Hmm.
And so, Jillian goes back to the table, plops down. We're riding for Alice Town, bright and early tomorrow.
Alice Town.
That's what she said. Smells like trouble. Folk acting weird. Going missing.
Can you give me more to go on?
Hoodoo is as hoodoo does, though detail would be nice.
There's different kinds. Lord.
Oh, it's the kind that's not helpful to anybody. So we're going to be taking a look into it. Something about
That's not helping.
She didn't have much to go on. She's just
The length of that
Football
conversation, and you come back with this.
Mm-hmm.
all
Insight
she said
check.
was,
You can. She's not hiding anything. She's just
12. There's more.
all she said was this: some folk have been acting weird of late. Something about a statue of the founder's daughter. Someone shot themselves in front of it.
Okay.
And then the land started getting more fertile, but then folks started going missing, acting weird, and that seems to be why families have been passing through here of late. Ones that
Thank you.
are aware enough to see trouble coming.
Anything that is there anything that I could roll to see if any of those details twigs anything?
That would be an Arcana check.
That's what I thought. 11.
Can I also
There-
be speculating?
There are you can, but for Reba, there are way too many
Yeah,
things to be sure. Reba's got this long litany in her head
Mhm.
of.
Can
Yeah.
Jillian also do a roll for her experience?
You'd be at disadvantage. You haven't seen anything like this.
Okay.
I'll get to
Yes,
Aloy in a
yes.
minute.
Were you gonna
Are
roll
you
or no?
making the clicky? Noms.
Oh, sorry, clicking what?
Oh, I thought you were gonna make the
You,
check.
you,
and
you,
not-
you said, can I make a check? I said it can. You can, but it's a disadvantage because you haven't seen anything like
Oh,
this.
sorry, I misheard that. That's Arcana.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A 0.
That's a nat 1.
Yeah, that could be so much anything, and it's probably more Reba's thing anyway. Alloy. I mean, she doesn't have a whole lot in the way of detail because while she studied cause and effect, names haven't exactly been forthcoming from most of the sources that she's had. But it does sound like some of the nastier side effects of Ghost Rock, which I mean, it's fairly clear that the residents have started some kind of cult based around this statue. So obviously this is you know, heathen worship of the not the good heathen worship kind. And it's difficult to say, but she doesn't think that the people are possessed. Otherwise, they'd be, they wouldn't be they wouldn't. None of them would be leaving. It's just they do, they're so thankful for their fields being fertile and things along those lines that they're willing to do just about anything to keep it that way. So, more than likely, whatever is powering whatever effect this statue is having, um, there's probably a lot of the people who are missing have been ritually sacrificed to this thing.
I gotta guess. Neither of you are gonna like it, though. Like,
I wasn't expecting we'd find anything that we would like out there.
no, but I mean, like, really, really, like, if you're not comfortable with
Jillian,
really freaky hoodoo,
gestures.
Yeah, she's doing the. And Reba's just
Definite-
giving the fool, you best start talking look.
definitely Ghost Rock. And there's probably a cult. And anyone going missing's probably been sacrificed.
Sounds like we're on the right trail.
And anybody who's just still there is probably just so damn happy that there's good stuff happening to the fields that they're willing to go along with all the inevitable
So
bad juju coming out of the rocks. I probably willing to bet that that entire statue is made of it.
Oh,
or on it, or near it, or otherwise affected by it. Either way. Of course, if
Enough
we go there, and we
localized-
start of course, if we get there and we start poking around, threatening their fields, people aren't going to be too happy. So yeah, we could potentially have the entire town against us. Fun.
I have ways of getting around us. Well,
Getting around to what
looking,
exactly?
getting around people recognizing us immediately.
Like what?
Hold on, and I'm pulling out a I'm pulling out one of the green bags, and I'm going to cast disguise self into it by pulling out the.
This it's gonna take basically she's widgeting this greenback for what 10 minutes. But while she's doing this, the little 4-year-old is still standing on her chair, so looking out at the. But the barman says, uh, "Food's ready if y'all want. Comes with the room."
Jillian waves him over. We'll take 3.
Yeah, he just brings his beans, sausages, cornbread. It's not the most healthy dinner, but fuck it, it's food. And there's still that screechy noise.
Uh,
Eventually, you guys have actually finished your dinner through the noise by the time Aloy is done, because she has to do her own as well as Jillian, and you realize that that only lasts for 8 hours before the magic dissipates, and you sleep for 8 hours.
At the very least, this is a good demonstration.
Aren't they going to recognize us as outsiders, one way or the other?
The point is, this you here.
Lady with the insane intelligence. There are like 4 people who just left the town,
Look,
sitting right over there.
just look here. Hold this, and okay. Look, people just left the town. We've seen the people who've just left the town. I'll take that. I'll actually take it back. Concentrate for and trigger it to bip to look like. Can I look like the kid?
You'd be a very tall version of the kid. You would be better. You'd be better off with the older boy.
So yeah, I'm bipping into the boy.
Yeah, he looks like he's had quite the growth spurt, but not
And
that
then
much
turning it-
because Aloy is pretty small.
and then immediately turning it back off.
All right,
That's
fair.
what I mean.
And Jane is just yay.
do we even know
Thumbs
their
up.
names?
Jillian. Well, you all obviously know Jane. Jillian knows that the boy is Matthias.
That was in
Jillian,
character, so I'm just looking at the two of them, just going, do we even know their names? Child.
not the parents,
We
but
might want to find out before we try doing this.
Yeah, we're totally gonna have to do this more often.
Yeah. And I'll get the character more down. I just didn't have. It's been a rough week.
No, I think you're doing just fine.
Oh
Okay.
my god, this is amazing. This is pure salt channeled.
Although I have threatened to when if Mel does get in a situation where she can join us, handing Reba off to her and coming, because this is basically Mel as the character.
At which point, there's a certain amount of discussion, and the little 4-year-old. Mama says if I'm not bothering you, I can sit and pet the big metal dog.
Yay!
I ain't bothering you then.
Not bothering one iota.
You're just fine. You're just fine.
This is Muffin.
just be careful, Aloy.
Pat 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 pat. Clank clank.
Muffin's
clank,
very
clank.
careful.
Clank, 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 clank.
Couldn't he give him fur?
Uh, I'm clearly like calculating now.
And theoretically, you could give him fur.
I think I probably could. I just need time to work
And a bear. You'd
Panels.
probably have to kill a bear.
and probably some time spent around or with or well, it's gonna involve a bear. Like I'm just mouthing this aloud. Well, clearly doing that whole I can see through time mathematics everywhere.
There was that one sort of just going to the savant place. Or that oh god, you're playing what's her face from Librarians.
Yeah,
But
what the hell, whatever her name is. Yeah.
but I'm getting I can see through time and just math problems everywhere, everywhere, everywhere.
While Aloy is distracted,
Yeah,
Jillian
Jillian, go
looks to
back
the
and you might want to
girl.
find out.
Jane, what do they call your parents?
Oh, God, you're asking for
You should ask the 4-year-old first.
Well, Papa calls Mama Lucy. I'm not supposed to call her that because it ain't respectful.
That's right.
And Mama calls Papa Marcus. But I ain't supposed to call him that because it ain't respectful. Also, your hair is really pretty. She's pointing to Reba.
Thank you.
And your gun is really shiny. And I don't know what that is that you're wearing, but you must be very strong for carrying it. I'm gonna go now. Pat pat. Bye bye, Muffin.
Still just into space, sort of waving, still staring. Like I'm gonna be out to lunch for the next like 20 minutes, give or take. Reaching for the food.
Which by this point is now lukewarm at best.
Mm-hmm.
And attempting to start it while still mathing.
Alright, give me a dex check at disadvantage. Let's see how much of this food you get in you.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. That one.
Oh
god, I loved it!
Aloy is broken out of her reverie, despite her fairly insane dex score, by effectively getting bean juice in her eyes because Spoon went.
Eh.
Maybe you should
Now I'm
do one
actually-
thing at a time, Aloy.
Less math, more eat. That was weird. Sorry, my phone.
Yes, and all of a sudden, you're now just registering that little girl's wandered off.
That was awfully rude.
Oh.
That little girl was smart as a whip.
I'm sorry. There was a question and I had to think of the answer.
I wasn't thinking of the answer, but
Just try not to get so off track once we ride into Alice Town. We're gonna need to be sharp as a tack.
I promise nothing.
That's the other
Yeah.
question. What are you
good thing we
going
don't expect
to
anything.
What are you going to do about her accent? Because her attempt at southern accent do wobble quite a lot, and she sounds like a damn Yankee.
Hmm.
Disguise it is very clever, Aloy, but it might be complicated. And we don't know anything about them, but their names, and they probably told everyone they're leaving, or
Hmm.
even if
Actually,
they disappeared
Reba
in the
with
night.
the Reba with the wisdom. If they wanted to get out without being the next yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
let you.
It, if they wanted to get out without being the next sacrifice, they wouldn't have said nothing to nobody.
On the other
That's
hand,
fair,
somebody would have noticed their fields weren't being tended by now.
but
And yeah, if they're farmers,
folk will
their
notice they'll be
absence would.
missing.
Hmm.
Might get as much attention
However,
as a few outsiders.
there's now a homestead without a farmer.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. Yeah, that could work. Sounds like we'll need might need more than a few days to take a look about. So
I
we
mean,
ride in, talk to the mayor about looking for land. Might
Hmm.
get somewhere.
do we still want to use the pulling out a greenback, the thing I did with this?
Hold on to those. Have them
They
ready in the morning,
don't
and
last
we'll.
that
Not yeah.
long.
Oh,
They go for about 8 hours for whatever's in them goes.
prepare them in the morning, and then we'll see.
And what do you want prepared? I got a bit of an assortment here. There's the sneaky stuff, but then there's also okay, I can
She's
make a
gone
bubble
into the
of
math place again.
I can make a bubble of nope. I can make an alarm. I can just know what I can figure out what a thing is built out of pretty efficiently. Normally, I don't need that. I can also make it so you can see things what are hoodoo. I can also there's also
That
fire
one.
and
Yep. Aloy. The one about seeing things that aren't natural. That's gonna come in handy. Prepare one of those in the morning.
so a hoodoo thing.
Yes.
Aloy might want to explain that she's gonna want it set up like as soon as possible before they hit town, not when they
We're
leave, because it depends on how far away they are. And that lot were riding the best part of the day.
we're
Yep.
still pretty
And
far from the town. I'm gonna want to do this right before we get to town.
Alright, we'll take a rest. Once the town's in sight then. Lucy there said it's a half day's ride.
Well, she's obviously giving the estimate for people who weren't riding with what, if anybody looks out the window, turns out to be a fairly rickety looking wagon.
Uh,
Clearly, they didn't stop to get it repaired either.
mm,
I'm gonna need to fix that. What?
Fix what?
Point at wagon.
Yes, out window.
Do not go near their wagon, Aloy.
at least ask first.
Yeah. In the morning, if they're still there, you can offer a hand if it's done swiftly, but
It will probably occur to Aloy that that they actually think they actually think she means tinkering with it instead of just letting the widget do the work.
No, I'm not gonna add things to it. I'm just gonna make sure it's not gonna fall to bits and pieces
no.
halfway down the road.
And
Even
probably
then,
waving the widget.
Look at
And
it.
just don't
and
go
it's,
poking around a person's things without their permission.
well,
Jumpy as is, not without unfair reason.
just
Okay,
bear in mind these folk are about as jumpy as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Of course, oh god, no. That's a. Sorry, I just realized, Alloy, we gotta fix that. Muffin gets up. Boom, boom, boom. Crunch out the door again.
No, no, Muffin, wait! Muffin,
Eep.
wait!
Eep, eep.
Okay, okay. Well, now you're outside. Oh, great. Getting up. Okay, okay, okay.
And thus begins
Okay.
the litany. This child, this child, this
So I go
child.
back to the door with
As
Muffin.
Aloy,
Frantically-
as Muffin has broken out of the door, and Alloy has chased off to them, she finds herself looking at five fairly muscular men and women in dusty trail leathers.
What the?
The fuck is that?
This is Muffin.
That ain't no Muffin I ever seen.
I built my Muffin, and he's my Muffin.
Can we see the five of them out the window?
You could certainly hear the yelling, and the door is still open because a Muffin just barged
The
through it.
Muffin-shaped bit.
Oh,
I
Lord.
mean, Jillian
All
perks
right.
up, but she's
Well, at least
not
I've had
rising
dinner
just
already.
yet.
You built this thing.
Yes,
Why?
to carry my stuff.
Muffin's just. Beep. You're blocking the way to the beer.
Okay, Muffin, let's go this way. And I'm sort of pulling Muffin off to the side.
Oh, Muffin goes readily enough. Muffin listens to instructions, but Muffin was obviously listening to the instruction of gotta fix that. So just beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
Thank you kindly. And they wander in. You're very lucky. They rolled very low on perception for recognizing who the hell you are. So yeah,
Even with the-
all of a sudden the place is now. I mean, it's small, so it's packed. A couple of them give Reba the significant stink eye. They don't say anything because the
Mhm.
beer's over there. They're not really in the mood to get into trouble with a, well, not a lady, but
No.
Jillian gives him a cool stare back.
she gets nods. Sort of. They're okay with her. Just
Well, yeah, she's still giving him a cool stare when she sees out there looking at Reba.
they belly up to the bar, and the family is just sort of pulling their children fairly close. And why did we think it was a good idea to come here?
Okay, Muffin, stay here.
Boop. Poop. Sits.
Okay, door. Pulling out the widget, trying to fix the door.
Door does get fixed. At least she's outside, so the noise is a bit dampened by wall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
At least the beer deadened the migraine a little from the noise. From the 10-minute long before.
Yes, well. And eventually, Aloy comes back in. Minus Muffin.
You
Just
finally decided to leave him outside.
If I try to do the door, there's gonna be more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, let's
Door.
not.
I was going to say maybe leave it with the horses. As long as they're not going to disturb the horses.
Hmm.
Well, to be
I mean-
fair, Aloy probably doesn't have a horse. Aloy probably has Muffin.
Muffin is the horse.
So Reba
Or at least
and
the donkey.
Jillian's horses.
The mechanical doggo.
In Aloy's case, Muffin is the jackass. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
That's
I love you,
that's,
Ethan.
that's fine. No, that's fine. But currently, you still have Muffin sitting outside the door like faithful old hound, occasionally just going, "Woo, woo."
Too much, too much, too much. I'm getting up, running back over to Muffin and hugging it.
Beep, beep.
I'm sorry, Muffin. You're too big to get through the door without Smush. I'm looking to see if there's any like windows near where the rooms are,
Nothing quite big enough to fit a muffin.
but enough that I can. And I'm trying to like figure
Yeah,
out which
you
one.
could you
So
could
I know
you
which one of our rooms is ours.
you guys have this one because you want to basically Reba wants to be near the door
Mm-hmm.
to getting out first. So there's a window about there.
I'm situating Muffin right near, moving Muffin over to where the window and saying, I'm gonna be right through there. I can't bring you in because there's not enough room. You'd kind of go squish the door again, and I don't want to get banned from here. I don't want other of us banned from here. Scritchy, 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 scritchy.
Fingernails scrape against metal.
So glad I can't hear that from where I am.
Boop, boop.
Just basically got him leaning on the almost on the window.
Yeah, pretty much. When you guys finally do get into your room and sort of cram in, you sort of get Muffin extends neck and into the window.
Aloy, can't you turn it off for the night?
Unfortunately, because it counts as a creature, no, you cannot turn it off. That's killing it.
I'm
She's
looking affronted.
she's just suggested killing your Muffin.
No!
Jillian clearly does not understand that. She
You
just
want
shakes
someone to shoot
her
your
head,
horse?
but she doesn't understand.
Well, that's what you've just been said.
She does not. Yeah, Jillian is not getting that more than a machine.
Well,
But
she just
Aloy,
had.
a look.
You just got told, would you like if someone shot your horse?
Jillian gives her a very stern look, but
Muffin is the
she
same.
does not.
Actually, Reba probably understands this. That's not just machine. It's
Mm-hmm.
too dumb and lovey to be anything but a being of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know how the fuck Aloy did it, but that is like the dumbest fucking dog in something the size of a very large donkey that now follows. Yes, it's Chewy.
And I'm saying nothing. I'm leaving this up to these two to hash it out. I know what's
Jillian
going on. I don't say anything.
Jillian waves her off.
There's still Muffin head in the window. Boop.
Hey, Muffin!
I'm gonna pull out a small mat and and just sit in the corner, back against the wall, and just rest.
I'm assuming kind of that corner because
Mhm.
Aloy has basically taken up that corner to be near the window.
Jillian's not going to argue against having the bed to herself. She just, puts her gun on the nightstand, takes off her
There is
coat
actually
and her
not a
boots,
nightstand. There's no
Okay,
room for a nightstand.
Nope.
There's just
And in
Bang.
fact, if she absentmindedly went to put the gun on the nightstand, she put putting it on Reba's head.
Yeah. With the lack, is there a?
I just
bed
hold up my hand and catch
coming
it.
up?
Just like, you want to rethink that?
There's
It-
basically there's no
you-
place to unpack. You would tuck it under your pillow or something, or with your gear
Okay, then
in
she,
the last remaining corner.
yeah, then she puts it on the side of the bed by the pillow, and clocks out for the night.
Yeah, I mean it's there's some revelry noise from the various farmhands. And come the morning, Aloy is actually the first one up because she's hearing Metal Muffin! Because obviously they were sleeping in their cart.
Hey, Muffin. Hey,
Hmm.
Jane.
Sorry, I didn't ask again. Boom! Off she
It's
goes.
Wait. I'm just scrambling out.
Well, she's just probably leaning out the. Yeah, actually, give me a dex check for leaning out the window, trying to get after the little 4-year-old, because she was
I
outside.
was gonna bolt out the door and then out the
This
other
is
door.
Aloy.
Yeah,
She
fair
was
point. Very fair point. Dex check.
Mm-hmm.
just regular this
uh,
time, though. You guys wake up to Aloy falling out the window.
Oh!
On top of Muffin. Whoop!
Thankfully, I was
Whoop!
already awake. I just hadn't had a chance to sit up yet or stand up yet.
Whoop!
Just-
Whoop!
Okay.
Hmm.
Hey,
Boom!
Muffin.
Boom! Boom!
Sorry about that. Excuse me, ma'am, sir.
There, there's a certain amount of packing up going on, but Jane is helping her dad while the other two are apparently finishing up breakfast or something.
Sir,
Can we help you?
I just wanted to offer to maybe help make sure that wagon stays together a bit more for longer.
Is it gonna make that noise again?
But, a little bit, yeah.
How much would this run us?
Nothing.
Beg pardon, but what's the catch?
Nothing. I just want to fix it.
Jillian steps outside, wake up a bit, get the morning air, leans against the wall or the
If
post or whatever,
if you
nods to the dad.
if you like, I reckon that'd be all right. Can I watch, Papa? Can I? You don't disturb the funny Yankee lady, all right? Okay, Papa. And don't you call her a Yankee in front of other people, but that's what she is. What's a Yankee? From up north somewhere. There was wars because some folks wanted to keep on having people like the lady with the pretty hair, like the Yankee lady has the muffin thing, except not treating them quite so well. I didn't agree with it then, but eh. This is the complicated stuff, isn't it? I don't know. When I'm older, I'm gonna watch the lady make the funny widget noises.
Pulling out the widget focus, the screwdriver focus, and and like essentially a little measuring widget just to make sure I'm getting everything right. Basically, just assorted small tools and
You have a fascinated 4-year-old, and farmhand just nods at Jillian as he goes back in to check on the rest of his family.
I'm probably coming out at that point, just having.
Yeah, walls aren't hugely thick. You probably heard that.
Oh yeah, and I just as he comes walking in, I just give him a, yeah, I know she's crazy look on my face, and just go, sorry about that. It's what she does. She just wants to help.
No, that's if we had to become wary of our own folks. Strangers got to be more still.
Mm-hmm. Keep doing that.
Seems a shame. Means we don't get to talk to folks like you that much. And walks back to. So yeah, you guys are out taking in the air, watching Aloy with absolutely fascinated 4-year-old.
and I'm like attempting to explain some of the math involved. I don't think it's working.
Actually, kinda. I mean, she's got a stick and is sort of scratching. It's very basic attempts at, but she's catching on to the very basics of this.
That's exactly right, actually. You're good at this.
Told you that kid was smart as a whip.
And I'm still doing the thing. I am making sure this thing is 200% fixed before.
Yeah, the kid is actually looking and apparently trying to figure out how she could do that without a magical widget, and where you could actually shore up things and just how the wagon works. And so she's asking Aloy all kinds of questions about, so that bit makes it stop if we're going down a hill because it pinches the wheel there and makes it stop moving.
Mm-hmm.
But that wears on the wheel, so maybe if you had something a bit squishier, that wouldn't rub on the wheel so much and make the things not work.
Yep.
Like the stuff that's on the bottom of our shoes. Would that work?
Probably. They need a
Okay.
lot more of it.
Well, you only need pads, just for the width of the wheel. Just a
Yeah,
scrunch.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Huh.
And this goes on for the widgeting and for like another 10 minutes before you've got the barman sort of leaning out and going, we ain't got breakfast for that much longer, folks. And goes back in.
And I'm turning around and right back in for food. Food and
Yeah,
drink before we head on.
Yeah, Jillian will grab a plate for Aloy.
This was this was adorable, but yeah, no.
I already had breakfast.
Okay. Once I'm all set, I gotta go back in there and get food.
Yeah, no, you've been done for about 10 minutes and have just been talking bits and pieces.
So you've already had breakfast?
Mhm.
Well, I still haven't, and
Go have foods.
okay.
Brain foods.
Best of luck with your trip, and best of luck with everything else.
And then you just glomp hug. And please hug the metal muffin for me.
Okay.
By
I'm
this time,
hugging Muffin on my way in.
the family is now actually bundling themselves into their much improved wagon, with Jane just talking about, I figured out how to make the brakes work better or longer without wearing off, and go on and on and on. You can actually still hear this drift off into the distance as the wagon rolls away. So yeah, you guys have got breakfast, and you didn't really have the chance to notice when you were on your way out, but the trail hands have already gone. But last night's revelries have left the place in absolute shambles.
Oh dear.
There's enough for like two. There's like two tables that have been set up proper, but in between, checking on eggs and bacon and things, you've got you've got him propping chairs back up, wiping some of the stains off the walls and the floor. These people did not seem to pay any attention to the spittoons, and there's just tobacco splat everywhere.
I'm gonna try and help at least sort the tables out.
Will you sit down and have your breakfast?
Okay.
Jillian will sit down and have her breakfast.
I'm complying finally.
Because if this guy's a bar proprietor of any worth, he's dealt with this many times before. So I'm not touching nothing. I'm just sitting down and staying out of the way because I know how this works.
At which point it does look up and say, looks at Alloy. The family that came through here, left a thing for you. World's most battered stuffed bunny.
Like there's a meebling and almost reverent taking of it.
Apparently, yeah, the little girl was. It finally took her mind off having to leave home, and apparently she wants to build herself a maybe not a working thing like you got, but she wants a soft one of them. So you get the rabbit.
I'm hugging the rabbit.
Congratulations, Aloy. You made a friend. Well, made another one.
Oh. Yes, breakfast happens, and obviously you've still occasionally got Muffin's actually been walking around the building, finding the nearest window, extending neck in. Whoop, whoop,
They'll be right out, Muffin.
whoop.
Be right out. I'll be right there, and you'll get plenty of fun time.
Clank, 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 clank. Is this thing that does the Boston Dynamics robot dog dance?
Oh God!
You guys have seen this thing do that a few times, and it never ceases to be, oh my god, you built it to do that. Clank, 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 clank,
Clank, clank, clank went the muffin. Ding, ding, ding went the bell.
Okay. Yes. Right. So yeah, that's it. Anything anyone wants to do before you leave the hostler's rest.
No, just stock up on water and
Yeah. There's a
food and road food,
yeah,
the usual.
there's a well out back, and he does sell little bits of trail rations, not a huge amount, but enough to certainly enough to get you to Alistown and probably further on. But hopefully you'll have time to restock in Alistown before you have to leave in a hurry. On that note, because we're not doing text this time, and I don't have 5-minute gaps between one person making a statement or an action and another, I'm still mandating a 5-minute break. So if
Yep, it's good.
anybody wants to take a quick breather, because I know I do, I will see you in a few minutes. Anyway, and we're back. These guys are on the ride to Alistown. A little slower than you'd go if it was just two people on horses, because Muffin's not that fast. I mean, he can get up speed, but he's not quite as fast as the average horse.
I'm carefully applying mending to the bunny to make sure there's nothing possible to damage the bunny.
And it's been hugged a terrible lot, and its stuffing is leaking out in places. So you managed to get the bunny back to its pristine state. Well, still grubby because it's mending, not prestidigitation.
But now it's like a solid little thing.
So you guys have been traveling for the first 10 minutes of your ride with the noise.
God, I will never get used to that. It's a particular sort of piercing that. Anyway.
And eventually you probably get Aloy. Behold!
Witness! All glory to the bunny! All glory to Muffin! All glory to all things science!
Jillian gives him a passing glance of pity before she goes back to keeping watch on the waste.
Carefully putting the bunny somewhere safe, and then onward, Muffin!
Clank, 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 clank. Yeah, there's no stealth when traveling with Muffin. Muffin is just made of clank.
Muffin's worse than plate armor.
Muffin is bigger than plate armor.
How did I know you would be the one to laugh at that the most?
Muffin is an automated direwolf, basically.
Yeah, so clank, 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 clank. Actually, technically speaking, the stats are somewhere between saber-toothed tiger and rhinoceros.
Jesus.
That hurts
Oh
my
boy.
brain.
Movement speed of saber-toothed tiger, actual abilities of rhinoceros, because headbutting something to death is probably more Muffin's style. You guys did actually once see Muffin headbutt a particularly nasty and, according to Reba, possessed wildcat to death. Quite literally, trample, 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 trample.
I mean, it wasn't clean, but it worked.
Yeah, Jillian can't argue if it works.
I mean, it was effective.
So moderating your pace to
Accommodate the muffin.
yes, at least after she's finally finished fixing the bunny and you don't have that noise anymore.
The clank I can deal with. That's fine.
Yeah, it's not a half day again because you've got, you know, you're not really pushing because you can't, because Muffin, and you know, stop for a meal part way down, and you could probably eat on the move, but the horses need a rest too. So
Mm-hmm.
except Muffin keeps going even after you guys have stopped.
Wait, Muffin, come back.
Beep. Boop. Boom, boom, boom. Because of course Muffin does not need to eat or sleep.
It just runs forever.
If asked to, yes. And then just sits to let Aloy slide off. Yep.
Yay, Muffin. Hugs, pat, and sort of
Boop.
massaging, not trying to scritch it, but like
Mm.
the whole giving the thing essentially a massage.
Boop.
Enthusiastic rubbing, which just sounds wrong. Never mind.
Thank you, Muffin.
Boop boop. Boom. And just does the sit thing. It has a certain amount of cat, just to the point of does the loaf thing. The legs like fold up, so it's just half spider crouch, half loaf.
I just imagine it making the transformer noise when it sits down.
Well, it's more sort of gear grindy, green, thump. Steampunk, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, you can see sunset approaching when you reach Alistown. Alistown does not look overly happy at the moment, just from the point of view of, I mean, everybody's out in the fields already,
Mm-hmm.
except for one person who's not there because he is apparently incredibly dead in front of a statue of a little girl in the center of town.
As we've been approaching, I've been applying the detect hoodoo thing to my to at least
Yeah.
3 sawbucks.
Well, only 2 because they're the only ones that need it. You can do whatever.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm
Jillian-
just applying it to 2.
Jillian is gonna stop her horse and then make sure the others are stopping once she catches sight of the body in the distance.
Yeah, sort of the turns Muffin turns head 180 degrees to look at Aloy as still walking. Boo, because it doesn't
Muffin,
take
wait.
it doesn't take orders.
Where
from,
are we on the map?
You're probably off the map, but
Mhm.
sort of off in that sort of direction.
Okay.
And this
Muffin,
is obviously the town center. There you can see a sheriff's office, you can see a saloon, a general store, a couple of the richer people houses. For the last hour or so, you've actually been traveling through some really lush farmland for this part of the world.
All
So,
right.
just gonna look at the body in the distance and then much more carefully look about towards the buildings
Yeah,
with
apparently
perception.
everybody's. Yeah, go ahead.
Hmm?
As far as you can tell, either nobody has noticed or nobody cares. The few
Muffin, back
people
up
who
to
would
everyone
be
else.
in town, the sheriff, the mayor, the guy keeping the general store, whoever else, are in their buildings, doing the things. And because the sun's not down, people aren't in from the fields just yet.
So
Muffin,
it's
back.
like late afternoonish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like they made a deposit recently.
Muffin, back up to beat even with those.
Clank,
Sort of
clank,
just
clank, clank.
putting
It
up the
just, I just walks backwards. Beep, 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 beep.
Beep beep beep.
Does actually boop beep, boop beep, boop beep.
It's
And
got
stops.
its own little backing up notification. Nice.
and I'm offering the 2 Starbucks, one to each of you two.
Thank you.
There's your Detective 2 stuff. I mean, I figure if there's a money issue, at least I could get some use out of the money, even if I can't use it.
It's a fair point.
Well, to be fair, this is an actual reasonable sized town. She might be able to use greenbacks here.
So she and Jillian waves the dollar a bit. How does this work?
Just wave it a little bit and think of
Jillian
hoodoo.
eyes it dubiously and then thinks very hard and then looks up to the town again.
Yeah, you're not within 30 feet, so you're not detecting anything at the moment.
Jillian gives a look, but she still stuffs it. She stuffs it in
a
an extra pocket.
Just keep it on you.
Okay.
And I'm currently pulling out my widget and ritual casting
Okay,
detect
yeah,
magic on myself.
Yeah, you're still not. Anybody using widget or sawbuck hoodoo, you're not within 30 feet of anything in particular as yet. So
Yep. So I'm just it's like at the side of my head.
So Jillian just surveys the town for another moment. She's eyeing the statue and the body.
Mhm.
Looks to Reba. Doesn't look like they're trying to be very subtle-like about this. But
They have no need. The whole town wants this.
So in we go.
still not leaving until we've rooted this out.
Muffin has already been because
Wait, Muffin! Ah! Muffin, wait!
the thing is that Muffin has approached just to about here when Aloy actually does feel, oop, hoodoo, directly in front of me.
And I'm looking at it.
Muffin
I'm
has
looking
now
at the direction
stopped
of the hoodoo.
Petite. And
Muffin?
the only thing in your line of sight is the statue.
Do I see
Jillian goes to
magic?
get her horse to catch up to Muffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
As soon as you're within the 30 foot. Oop, hello. There is definitely magic.
Can I
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't activated mine. I'm waiting till I get closer.
Yeah, well, Jillian then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why I didn't really specify because I wasn't sure you had.
Right.
So
So I'll just glance. I just glance over at Jillian. Yeah.
yep. Can
I
she
mean,
just tell anything else, or it's just that it's magical? Period.
It's that's all you've really got with detect magic in this particular setting.
Okay.
So
I didn't
can't
need
use
to activate
trenching
mine.
light.
It's kind of obvious.
Can I figure out what type of magic it is by any chance? With the detect magic?
Problem is
Or are
that
there?
with the setting, it's a bit tricky.
Yeah.
So
There
it's
really
more
aren't types per se.
yeah, it's more kind of other.
Got it.
It's nothing good. It's certainly
Mm.
not the kind of holy thing you've occasionally felt coming out of Jillian.
And it's,
Okay. Yeah.
Can Jillian guesstimate the size of the town population from the number of houses?
Um,
and the people in the fields
Like,
that we might have seen
tens,
coming
like,
in.
like a dozen versus tens of dozens.
you're you're well,
Tens of
come on.
dozens. I love that.
Yeah, well, it's not like it's gonna be, it's not certainly not gonna be in the triple digits. They're more likely to, if you're including young people, and the elderly, you're probably looking at, you're maybe pushing 100, maybe,
Okay.
but you're probably
She's thinking about the size, the potential mob size.
yeah.
So
Well, it depends. Keep in mind that a lot of those people are field hands. They're living out in the outskirts. So depending on what time of day you're doing anything, the most in town you'd be looking at. Actually, give me a. Well, you did do a perception check and you did do fairly well. So if you're taking a guess at, say, 2 kids per family, one of an age where they might be willing to get up and fight. You're probably looking 20 odd, if that.
okay. Also, is there a church in town?
Uh, one of those buildings probably was. It doesn't seem to be getting a lot of uh business.
Makes sense.
They're worshiping something else.
I'm going to. Okay, Muffin, to the general store, and I'm pointing.
Clank, 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 clank. As you get closer, the general store is that one right there. As you're clanking in that direction, you feel, yeah, it's definitely coming from right about there.
Jillian follows the muffin.
Hmm.
You have checked your
Harkin.
spell list, haven't you, Reba? You might want to at least tell them to hold while you have a think.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Muffin, wait.
Yeep. Clink.
I'm gonna get off a Muffin for now.
Boop.
Hang on. Gotta.
Out of character, I'm trying to figure out which one of these would be best to use right here.
Well, there's one person you know won't hurt you if you ask them questions. And you have the capability to
rainforest.
do that.
Yeah, I see it now. I see it now. Okay, so I'm going to approach the body. I'm going to get a little bit closer on the horse, but then reasonable distance, dismount and walk over to the body.
Yeah.
At which point,
Funny thing is, when you approach, you'd think that with the amount of blood, because this guy, his throat has been cut, and there's a significant amount of blood, but there's no footprints trailing away from it. So, being as intelligent, or at least wise as you are.
Yeah, it was self-inflicted.
And the other thing that you notice is that the statue appears to be crying.
Sorry, it appears what?
To be crying. It's actually
this-
tears.
So the statue is of a crying girl, or the girl is crying?
The statue is of a girl.
Right.
Statue should not be leaking water.
That's what I.
This
yeah.
one
Okay.
is.
Okay. Okay.
This is like the
Way not natural.
this is like the St. Nicholas job thing.
Yeah, it's like
Aha,
actually
yes.
leaking real tears
Yeah,
somehow.
that's what I thought you were going for. Just wanted to make sure. Um, oh God, I'm gonna amateurs.
Yeah.
So,
Jillian looks to Aloy. You wait there. Then she nudges her horse over to this to decentish distance from the statue and looks to Reva. How long do you reckon he's been dead? And then she pauses, looks to the statue since it's crying. And that's a bit disturbing.
The blood
oops, I
is
didn't mean to. I thought that was gonna
no,
just
that's
open it.
no,
Sorry.
that's fine. The blood is not very fresh. It, mostly dried, but it's still a little bit tacky in the deepest spots, if you see what I mean. So it's moderately recent, but not like there was no way that if you got there 10 minutes earlier you could have stopped it.
Okay. Okay. So then, at this point, I walk over to the body and uh, and to answer Jillian's question, how long do you reckon it's dead? All you see Reva reach in, pull something, uh, some herbs or something from somewhere in her
Gear.
many gear, sprinkle some of it near the head of the body, uh, and I'm casting speak with the dead.
Um, it, it seems to take a minute, but and you will probably have had to turn the body over because he was face down. But
Mm-hmm.
once you've done that and done your cast, um, pause for a moment and then what?
Why did you cut your own throat?
Sacrifice. Oh, keep count of your questions, by the way. You've got
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maximum
I've
of
got four
4.
left. That's why I'm thinking. I've only got 4 questions left, Jillian.
Well, there's a question of who he's sacrificing himself to.
The
We know
statue.
what. Well, what? That's not helpful. That's what is in
Yes,
this.
I know, but I'm saying that's what he could answer. Um,
We have to find out who's in the statue, what's in the statue.
wait, what are you sacrificing yourself to? Or damn, I already asked. Um, the statue.
The statue,
Yeah.
the land, whatever power lies with this as a conduit.
Sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
Yeah.
Whatever
What?
power lies with this as a conduit.
Okay.
Sorry, I was answering in
No,
character.
no,
That's why I didn't mean to interrupt. I just
no, it's fine.
perfect
It's fine.
opportunity.
Yeah. It's,
Better you than me.
Right. Cool. That's 2.
let's-
Person with intelligence who's probably freaking out right about now. Who runs the cult? What happened to the church?
I'm like over there. I'm running over. I'm running over, coming to a screaming halt. Who runs the cult?
It has to be Reba who asks.
Yeah. Who runs the cult?
Former Father Elias.
That's the priest.
Jillian's not happy.
Is there anyone's
Damn white boy god.
anyone's
Oh,
anyone still working in the church normally?
well, we can find that out. We'll just go there.
But if you ask the dead person, you might not be asking the wrong person the question to the wise.
Hmm.
Remember, you're trying to speak to this guy to avoid questions that might get wind up somebody.
Point. Is anyone still serving the church?
We have tried to root them out. But Sister Mary Celeste may yet live and work against us.
Two left.
Could ask her where Sister Mary is.
Yeah, but if
Doesn't sound like he knows. If they've been
no, well, if
searching
they
for
knew,
her.
yeah. See, if they knew, she wouldn't be among the living.
Can't be that many places to hide out here, though.
I just give Jillian a look, having been as someone who's been on the run.
Yeah, Jillian's not gonna argue.
There's so many places to hide. We're in the middle of nowhere.
With
There's
not a
lots
lot of cover, though.
Well, no, but
Question, do you think she left town? Or is she actually hiding?
Jillian looks out across the town to keep watch while we're thinking.
And
has
no, sorry,
Sister Mary Celeste?
just to answer,
Oh,
Jillian.
yeah. Sorry.
No
Go
one
ahead.
seems to be coming out for the moment. You're probably gonna need another perception check to see if anyone's looking through windows and things.
Yeah, and I'm too occupied to do that.
And Aloy's freaking out too much. Yeah, you're a bit too focused on, okay, this is stepping into some territory that's kind of close to the kind of thing I shoot people for, and not to mention the whole thing about white boy god.
Yeah, that's fair.
So nothing obvious is going on, certainly.
Has Sister Mary Celeste fled the town entirely?
I hoped so. She was a friend once. But things have not been as smooth. We have lost potential sacrifices. We believe she may be responsible.
Maybe Sister Mary had any other friends they would know. I'd be willing to share where she's hiding.
No, we already. I've already asked if. Oh
No,
well,
you asked
okay.
for
Wait,
people in
yeah,
the church.
the church. All right, last question. Last question. Is there anyone left in the town who would be assisting?
You went muted.
Sorry, my cat jumped out of my lap and stepped on the thing.
I figured when you cut out mid-sentence, so
Before
you finish that question, there might be one other question that might be better to ask. Do you know how often sacrifices need to be made? The only reason I can get away with this is because your wisdom score is fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, and the background in Arcana. So it makes sense. How often are sacrifices required?
As often as possible. Absolute requirements at the setting of the sun. Sorry, sometimes they're cryptic as fuck. And the last of the air
Yep.
expels from the body, and it goes back to being a staring, throat-cut corpse who was hard to understand because he managed to nick vocal cords.
That's fair.
And I'll close his eyes, and so you see Reba close the eyes of the corpse and leave a pinch of tobacco on the ground next to him before getting up.
Roll him back over the way he was before. We
I've
should.
already left tobacco there, and there's like herbs and shit.
Well, that's a bit less noticeable.
Fair.
We should get moving.
All right.
Of course, given all of that, Reba, there is blood on your hands.
Mm.
We were lucky that no one's seen us yet, messing with this poor fellow. We could
You don't
scout
think.
around the outskirts.
We don't think, yeah.
Scout around the outskirts, look for a hiding spot that Sister Mary might have gone to. Wouldn't expect a nun to be able to get that far on foot, even on horseback. She
Well,
hasn't
apparently.
fled the territory.
Well, yeah. Trying to think what I should ask for a roll for that. I'm gonna say straight up intelligence. Aloy and Reba get advantage because they've both had to be on the run.
That would be a 19.
Wait, wrong spell, wrong page. Advantage, straight up intelligence. That's a save. 19. Good thing too. Well, it wasn't. Was it a net? Well, that wasn't that one.
No.
Wait, no, that wasn't a net one.
No, that's
Oh,
your
just-
modifier. How the fuck many times? That's a 3. Your modifier is 1.
Got it. Okay, there it is. I was looking at the breakdown. I've never seen that. I've never looked at that.
Yeah,
You've never looked at where.
Does Jillian want to make a roll?
Okie doke. Intelligence.
Jillian's never had to run. Jillian likes to stand up
Yeah.
fight. These
Yeah, that's
two,
fair.
this is somebody who knows the town, knows its people. And the kinds of people who are in these townships tend to be fairly predictable, and they're not generally stealthy. And these people apparently aren't supernaturally mucked with, so they're just townspeople with a mission. So if you knew approximately when attempts at raids were going to happen, you could just hide any evidence of the fact that you'd been there and clear out before they got there. Go, double back when you'd seen them leave from a hiding spot. And your best bet would probably be the building that they're not touching because they've stopped worshipping there. Also because it's very familiar and she knows all the cubby holes and hiding places. It's entirely likely that Sister Mary Celeste is in that church.
Yep. So.
Probably in the basement somewhere.
Yeah.
So no one can see her through windows.
Jillian. She's probably in the church.
Not just in the church, in the basement.
Well, under the church, yes.
Let's hope we're so lucky. Let's pitch the horses behind the church and then take a look.
Do we want to do this in broad daylight?
We want to do this now before folks start noticing us. I want to find
Perception check
who
from
we
all
need to
3 of you.
I want to find who we need to stop as soon as possible and then be on our way.
Yeah.
Oh, that was still advantage. Hold on,
yeah.
let me re-roll.
You're not having a good day.
19.
Reba, has finally, now that Reba's not talking to the dead white boy,
Mm-hmm.
she's noticed that there's some folks in the saloon sort of looking out windows and apparently waiting for them to come in and actually book, you know, get a room, get something, ask
Mm-hmm.
for directions. There's also a couple of folks looking through the windows of the general store. Um, there's a
Yep.
face in the window at the sheriff's office. They're not saying anything. They're not calling attention to themselves, but they're watching.
Yeah, we have all sorts of attention already, so it's a little late for that.
I'm
Let's
going
go
Reba,
into
to
the
head
salon.
Jillian
back
does a
to
double
the
take. Okay, yeah.
store, and I'm
Let's
headed
go to the
back
saloon.
towards the general store.
Okay,
Wait,
Aloy's
Ally,
heading.
what are you?
I need stuff.
Let's go to the store.
By the time you guys get into the general store, which is like general stores everywhere, although their selection of like, you know, preserves and pickles and things are actually better than you'd find in most places, funnily, because mostly this part of the waste is pretty dead for actual foodstuffs, but there's actually enough to sell, which is new.
Hmm.
But by the time you get in, you wouldn't think that they'd seen you at all. There's an old fella in a rocker and a rather thin-faced, severe-looking old maidy type woman behind the counter. Well, howdy. Ain't often we get visitors.
Hi.
Jillian tips her hat. Looks around.
Such interesting visitors. Can I help you with anything?
Just wanted to look around, see what kind of supplies one can get for starting up a farmstead, if there's any available here, and if not, we're just gonna go to the next town.
Well, she's giving you this look that's sort of like there's an assessing look, and then there's that that oh look, and then that sort of tight-lipped, disapproving expression that you'd get when the automatic assumption is really bizarre lesbian poly relationship commune.
I was thinking of having Jillian say, "This is my wife. This is my sister. We need a farm," but
But well, no,
Aloy beat her to it.
she's jumped to
So.
her conclusion now. So well, as it happens, we do have a farmstead that was recently vacated. Uh, we were gonna wait for the Eldrin boys to grow up and maybe start it, but that's a few years. And if such interesting folks as yourselves would are looking to settle, I'm fairly sure that the land turned back to the mayor, see, so fairly sure he'd give you quite a good price for it.
certainly be interested if
And it is
you
fully
work
it
with him.
is fully stocked. Insight check, guys.
I am so garbage at these.
22. Jillian got 20.
No
Yeah,
idea.
I got
Four.
No wisdom. Really, really high int. Really, really low whiz. Yeah, you two. Yeah, she's not looking at you as potential. Yeah, Dylan's got it. It's less oh hey new neighbors. It's oh hey look sacrifices.
Mhm.
That's
Oh
basically
yeah,
what
that
I'm
was,
thinking. I mean,
honestly, yeah, that much was obvious. I didn't even need an insight check for that.
Well,
Alex had no idea.
yeah, Alloy's got no idea. Alloy is more. Should
Oh,
I?
I'm letting Alloy be the one to do all the talking because she is so.
Flappy.
Jillian
Yeah.
tries to keep a poker face.
Okay, roll me deception.
Oh boy.
Likewise, Reba.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
17.
Jillian's not happy.
Yeah, natural 19 from Pinch Face School Marm. Yeah, okay.
Do I?
No, you don't need to, because you don't know. There's.
Okay.
Did you guys do know that? Well, Aloy doesn't. You two notice that there's a chill in the air, but since you seem to be continuing, they're apparently letting it play out. Just, you might want to speak to the mayor and check out
Mm-hmm.
the homestead before you go spending your hard earned on things that you might be getting duplicates of.
Jillian
That's a very good point. I
settles her
appreciate it.
hand on her belt near her gun, but she just nods stiffly.
Yeah, Aloy notices that much. It's all of a sudden, for reasons that she has no idea, Jillian has her hand on her gun. Aren't they
Or at
supposed to
least
be
near it.
like?
Near the gun.
Yeah, are we supposed to be being nice to these people for now? What's going on? Wait, now what?
At which point
Edging,
Reba's good.
trying to hide behind a shelf.
At which point Reba just goes, "That is very good advice. Thank you very much." And we will.
Yes, meantime, it may take a while for things to get sorted out business deal wise. You might wish to avail yourself of our saloon.
We will do that. Thank you. In which case, I'm going to.
Out.
Yeah, I'm just leaving.
Yeah, Jillian swiftly leaves after
I'm
her.
going to slowly follow, though I'm trying to see if there's anything that could possibly be improvised as explosives in here later on.
That's an investigation check.
All right. 14.
Unfortunately, it's the kind of thing you'd have to ask for. And you can see a couple of things that you being you could probably mix together with bits, but they might also be at the farmstead if you get it and you don't given hand near gun and things just went
Mhm.
really weird. You probably don't want to ask for anything right now. You
Yep.
could
So
do
I've
it,
just
but
so I've just Sherlock scanned the room, and I'm like, nope.
Sherlock scan. Love it.
well, given look at her int modifier.
+6.
Fair enough.
For investigation, fuck yes. So yeah, Sherlock scanned the room and whoop. So you guys are back out, and Muffin is sort of right in front of the door. Whoop, whoop.
Come on, Muffin. We're going to saloons.
Happy dance. Clunk, 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 clunk. You can see the stair because it's wooden starting to bend, 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 bend.
Okay, come on, off the wood.
Clank, 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 clanky. So yeah, that's. Are you heading for the saloon? Are you going to explain to poor Aloy anything?
I'm just looking over at Jillian, just like,
Because she's the one who put the hand near the gun.
Jillian's taking another deep breath to tone down the urge to go all Wrath of Heaven.
And as we're Muffin, spin.
Clank, 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 around in circles.
And the head also rotating in the opposite direction.
Yeah, in the opposite direction. Yes.
That gets her. That distracts her somewhat.
It does the comedy dizzy.
you have
Good, Muffin.
Whoop.
this child.
Whoop whoop whoop.
So it's
That's
late afternoon, right?
The sun. So it's starting to be now because of the amount of time Speak with Dead took and everything.
Mhm.
It's the sun is starting to be in the sunset phase. You
Yeah.
are sort of starting to have some people coming in from the fields. A couple of them, with no fuss or fanfare whatsoever, pick up the body and walk out back into the field.
All right, Jillian takes another deep breath. So the two of them, they go to the saloon, get lodgings for the night. Tell them if anyone asks, we're planning to see the mayor in the morning about homestead. Don't give more detail than we need to. Once it's dark, we're gonna sneak out of the saloon and take a look at the church. Find out who we need to deal with out here.
Whoop,
Uh,
whoop, whoop.
You gotta
okay, just
figure out.
come on with me, Muffin.
You're gonna need to make sure Muffin isn't making noise when we go out at night.
Clank, 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 clank.
Muffin, spin.
Spinning. Like, and there's gears whirring and that sort of woo noise.
For now, we're just gonna have dinner, have a drink,
Oh,
wait it out.
yeah, as you approach the saloon with Muffin following, and it's just sort of, you ain't bringing that thing in here.
Mm.
Just
I
park
guess you
this.
could say
Park
he
it.
doesn't serve their kind.
I hate you so
Oh,
much.
why?
I really, really hate you. There had to be Star Wars. It's Saturday night. There had to be fucking Star Wars.
Just leave it with the horses.
Uh, you're gonna scare everybody else's horses. Uh, wisdom person. There looks to be a certain patch of area that's not bothering anybody that you guys need to get to without it making a terrible lot of noise while you're trying to sneak. Couldn't you just say he'll hang out in the churchyard?
Oh, oh yeah, there would be a churchyard. I knew there was a church. I forgot there'd be a churchyard. I forgot that'd be a thing. Good point. Aloy, Muffin can
Hmm?
just have Muffin can just hang out in the churchyard. There's space.
That'll work, I guess.
And nobody seems overly fussed about this thing clanking across the grave sites of their relatives, which again is kind of funny because you saw. Obviously, they're not even using it for corpse disposal anymore because.
Yeah, they carted it out to the fields. So, like,
Okay, Muffin, need you to hang around here, okay? I'll come see you whenever, every second I can, okay? And when I need you, I'm gonna whistle.
just
Exactly.
It's actually got a little steam whistle, so whoop.
just not indoors.
Good, Muffin.
It's unhappy muffin. So yeah, you've got Aloy dragging herself in, looking back over her shoulder at where Muffin is doing the doggy sulk.
And it will proceed to sit there for 10,000 years, a la Fry.
At least he won't die.
Yeah, this one literally can sit there for 10,000 years.
Fair point.
That's the disquieting part. This thing will come back to you.
The tavern is quieter than most sunset taverns in towns. There's none. I mean, there's a couple of card games, but they're pretty friendly. There's none of the raucous arm wrestling kinds of things. There's none of the ladies of easy virtue.
There's nobody playing music.
Nope.
Wow.
Jillian just surveys the room and goes up to the counter.
The guy behind it is large in every sense of the word. He's sort of pushing 6'4". He's about as wide as Aloy is tall. He big. He's sumo wrestler big.
Yosho!
The only reason he's not any bigger is he wouldn't fit behind the bar at that point.
Pretty much. Although, pretty big bar.
Hmm.
We ain't seen you around these parts.
I'm just glancing over at Jillian. Just
Jillian just calmly looks up. 3 of us will need lodging and dinner for tonight, and a few drinks to start out for now.
Well, we got the room. And gives gives the price, sets out beer. I mean, it looks like really good quality beer for a middle of nowhere town. You're frankly used to piss water at this point. This ain't piss water.
I'm working my way towards the card game.
Yeah, there's 4 men who's obviously just come in from the fields and enjoying themselves a beer and look up at this weedy little individual. Can I help you?
Can I join in?
Jillian looks to Aloy as much as she can. Look as loudly as she can without making a sound.
Oh god, what have I started?
They eye Aloy. Take a seat.
And I'm
Yep.
situating myself.
I'm
And
just this child. This child.
Okay, so how are you gonna play this?
I'm just going to try and play the game and like as I'm going Sherlock scan the various opponents to see if I can't figure out anything, whether or not like they're gonna.
If they have any tells, basically.
Yeah.
That's insight. You're crap at insight.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try.
Roll
'Cause I'm trying to
insight.
see if I can't math this.
Yeah, but you're rolling insight, so.
Good luck.
Good thing she only has Monopoly money.
Effectively. All right.
Jillian takes
Oh!
the table. Jillian goes to the table in the corner, the one that Catboy, you can see the whole room
Yeah.
if she can get the table.
Yeah. These guys, I mean, they've got tells, but they're remarkably calm. The chips don't apparently mean anything, so without that, their tells are really sort of vague. But you can get a general impression of, that one's eyes widen somewhat when they when they get a decent hand. That one has a tendency to bite their lower lip when they're trying when they're trying to build a risky hand. That one scratches the back of his neck a bit when things are not going so well. And now I'm going to ask you to make a sleight of hand check. Because honestly, at this point, I'm also assuming that part of the reason that Aloy has managed half as well as she has so far is because she cheats like a motherfucker.
Yes. Okay.
Oh!
She gets the tells, but that ace she tried to palm sort of shoots out of her sleeve and hits a guy in the head.
Ha!
And there goes my magic tricks.
Okay, give me deception right the fuck now.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Holy shit!
Right. Anybody who spits aces at their sleeve, I don't reckon we want them sitting at our table. We'd very much appreciate if you'd let us go back to our game.
yeah. Sorry, these sometimes just go off when I'm trying to do other things with cards.
So yeah, this would ambles back having won absolutely nothing because they're not actually playing for money anyway.
Jillian
By this time you
stares.
have actually a very good dinner for a town in the middle of nowhere. I mean we're talking roast and trimmings here. And this you don't normally see. You'd get stew at best.
This is.
Wow.
This town ain't
Jillian's
right.
not happy.
This town ain't right.
Exactly, it ain't right.
This town
Just
ain't right.
increasingly salty.
Town
Yeah,
is
she's just
not
nursing
right.
that one single beer.
It
The
is
whole
very
night.
good beer, however. Which
She's not happy
really,
about
yeah,
that
it's
either.
really annoying.
Like I'm just gonna eat as normally as I can while giving like Jillian what the hell looks.
Although, given Aloy and her boundless curiosity, if this is how good the beer is, I wonder what the whiskey's like.
I'm getting up after I'm managing to finish most of the dinner.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Jillian stares at Aloy.
I'm just walking to the
She
bar.
keeps her seat.
The very large individual. Can I help you?
Well, my friend already got beer. Can we use? You mentioned whiskey, I think. Yes.
We do have whiskey. We didn't mention it. That was the last bar.
Oh, must have gotten something.
You sure you need more alcohol?
If the beer's is good, I figure the whiskey's even better.
And I'm just looking at Jillian staring at Aloy, and I'm just. You know
At
that
which point
doesn't work, right?
he pours a shot and well, give it a try on this.
You know
It
that whole
is
staring thing doesn't work?
it is superlative whiskey.
I'm looking at it like it's the holy freaking grail right now.
Well, you know
Jillian
you know where to
starts to
come if
step
you
up.
want any more. And
Yeah, Jillian
goes and-
slowly makes her way towards the bar as she sees
Hey, well,
Aloy and the whiskey.
yeah, the bartender has abandoned her to go and serve another customer, but Aloy really is just.
Jillian
You can almost hear the choir of
rests a
heavenly
hand-
angels.
Jillian rests a hand on Aloy's shoulder with a very sharp stare.
Brewery method is required for this, and I'm going full like, beautiful mind moment again.
Jillian
I'm trying to
by
calculate.
by the
Jillian
way,
grips-
Cassandra. That was the name. Cassandra, the librarian's girl.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Jillian grips Aloy's shoulder.
What?
Not one more drink. Okay?
Fine.
Thank you. Lets her go. Goes back to the table.
Like.
Okay, dinner is. I mean, Reba and Jillian. I mean, I know that Aloy has finished most of her meal. You guys have been in this just ain't right mode. Do you still actually do any kind of justice to this food?
Yep, she
No.
takes her time.
Um.
She picks at it
Wisdom.
over a
Do you
while.
really want to stand out any more than you already do?
uh, Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you finish your meals, you finish your beers. You probably have Aloy singing the praises of the whiskey and trying to insist to Jillian, I was just curious.
I had to try it at least. The beer was amazing.
Jillian just gives her a look.
You know that whole looking thing ain't working with this one? Use your words.
I mean, and I'm just rambling about brewery methodology at this point.
Jillian will
babbling.
let her ramble. Jillian is content to let her occupy herself.
And then I veer into how to make rum, and then how to make beer, and I'm just still going.
Yeah, it's going right over. But she's letting her go. Just keeping a watch.
Yeah, eventually Aloy winds down, and people. By the time she's done, the place is almost entirely cleared out. Usually, saloons go all night. All these people seem to have a bedtime.
I should build a brew kit into muffin.
No, you should not. See, that gets your attention.
I'm just waiting for Reba commentary on that whole idea.
You are not putting alcohol on the thing you use to move. We're not drinking and writing.
Not to
No, we are
mention
not.
the fact
All
that
right.
alcohol is flammable, and sometimes muffin charges into things head first. One wrong spark, and all of a sudden, flaming muffin!
This muffin's on fire.
Yes, muffin is half baked at best at the moment. That doesn't mean that we burn him. I can do the fucking puns too. Okay.
Oh my god, I love you, Thaz.
Alright, well, once people have cleared out, Jillian looks between the two of them. We're gonna rest up till midnight or so. One of us will be keeping watch.
Gonna call it an early
Aloy.
night.
Aloy, you have spells.
I have ways of making sure that nothing jumps us.
Jillian,
I have ways. I have
alright,
ways. I've pulled out the sonic screwdriver.
just don't.
That was right by my ear.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go hug Muffin. I'm tromping back out.
And
Jillian
funnily enough, though, that's actually probably the best excuse you could possibly have if you get caught.
Jillian follows at a distance to keep Aloy in view.
Yeah, no.
Are you doing that stealthily, or are you just ambling?
I think we lost. Oh no.
No, he's thinking.
Who, Jillian?
No, yeah.
No, she's just ambling. I'm assuming Aloy is not stealthy.
No, because Aloy has a reason to go there.
Yeah, Jillian, like waiting on the porch of the saloon, assuming she can still see.
Yeah, it's
Aloy.
it's not a huge.
She's casually doing it.
I have wandered over to Muffin.
Whoop.
Hey, Muffin.
So, I'll wander over and stand with Jillian.
There's actually a pale pink ribbon tied to Muffin's neck.
Ooh. I'm examining the ribbon.
It's a ribbon.
I'm looking at the church door.
Should have been yellow.
I'm looking around, like seeing is anybody watching besides the obvious people.
That's a perception check, I'm afraid.
Muffin wore a yellow ribbon.
I see nothing.
You're,
A zero.
you're like, that's really pretty, but it would be really not durable. Now, what if I could maybe do a length of metal and you've just gone beautiful mind again, trying to find a durable method of.
Ribbon alternative. I love it.
I'm going to invent Kevlar.
And basically, you guys are. Two of you make me a perception check.
Oh my god.
You guys are awful.
Oh my god, you guys are awful.
You guys are actually just way too busy being grateful for 10 minutes peace and quiet.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, if eventually eventually Aloy is gonna get distracted, hug Muffin, and come back with this pink ribbon clutched in her fist. Like, 'cause she's forgotten exactly why she has it. She's just lost in must make durable ribbon for Muffin and walking back to the saloon. And so you see her with this ribbon and you have no idea where the fuck she got it because pink, she doesn't do pink generally.
Where? God, do I even want to ask?
Jillian directs Aloy to their room first.
It was, but wait, but it was on Muffin.
And you're shoved into the room at that point.
It was on Muffin,
Yes,
and it wasn't there before.
I don't do pink.
And
I don't do cupcake.
doesn't-
Okay.
there's nothing
You do
written on
muffin.
it.
Okay, no, you don't. That phrasing. No.
Yeah, I was about to say. Careful. Phrasing. Boom.
There's nothing written on it.
Handing it to Jillian.
It's a pink satin ribbon. Probably left over from, like, somebody's dress or
Mm-hmm.
a really
And
fancy
just-
birthday present.
Shrugs and hands it back. Just do your thing. Something subtle that will wake us if someone tries to get through the door.
Okay.
Subtle?
Come
Subtle?
on this journey
Really?
with me.
Subtle? Really?
I
Come on
don't
this
think
journey
I
with
want
me.
to do that. I just don't want us to be surprised in the middle of the night.
Jillian. Eva. Come on this journey with me. Ribbon magically appears on Muffin. He was in the churchyard.
And
Logic dictates.
we were already going to go to the church. So now I need you to do the thing you said you were gonna do.
No. We had chance and we just whiffed on it.
Yeah,
we need
but
to go to.
You need to make it. Then logic suddenly kicks in again with. So we need to make another chance. But at least they know we're here, and they don't seem to be. And they seem to think we might be friendly or helpful. Because if they didn't think we were friendly or helpful, they would have wrecked Muffin up.
We're going to the church under the cover of night, lest somebody see us nosing about the one building that no one goes to anymore.
Click. And I'm casting alarm over the door with ritual.
Yeah, thankfully the walls are fairly thick, so it's only you guys that are stuck with this.
I basically just accepted my fate as having a permanent migraine around this one.
So, I mean, you get a few hours, basically. I imagine that Jillian and Reba, for their own various reasons, are good at making themselves wake up in the middle of the night. Aloy, not so much. So they're gonna have to poke her first thing.
I'm just muttering calculations in my sleep. Like I'm legit just I'm just doing math in my sleep. I'm doing
Sleep
fucking
math.
fractal calculus.
Sleep
Oh,
calculus.
boy. Now that's scary.
It's calculus sleep.
Talk about nightmares. Jillian pokes Aloy quite firmly.
What? I just had. I was. Oh, and now the
And all of a
equation's gone.
sudden, and it's very dark now. It was only it was twilight when you went to sleep, and now it's
What the hell?
Is there a window we can go out of?
there is a window. You are, however, on what you guys call the second floor. I call the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
We're a floor up.
You're a floor up. Thank you. I hate two countries separated by common language.
Do we have rope in our backpacks, or is that on the horse's saddlebag?
I'm gonna say Reba carries hers because she's used to having to run out with
Mm-hmm.
very, with the horse is the horse is easier to abandon
Yep.
than having to
Then your
try and
stuff.
stop somewhere and buy rope.
That's
Yep.
And is the bed sturdy enough to tie the rope around the post?
And now we roll the hand of it. It's actually a surprisingly well built saloon in general. So yeah, I mean the furniture is sturdy. You're used to like camp beds at best, but this is
Yeah.
proper beds with proper wooden bedsteads. I mean it'll slide, but if you guys move the bed to the edge so that it's up against the wall, it will move.
All right, Jillian steps up, opens the
Uh,
window.
First of all, I would like to point out that Reba might want to check her spell list again. Because
Oh.
you're going to be stealthing out that
Mhm.
window.
I know. And I know this. I know with the spell. Actually, that is a good point though, because I need to find out how long that lasts.
About it lasts an hour, but you're going to want to ritual cast it. Which I think you can.
Yes. Yes. No, ritual is not marked.
Okay.
All right. Jillian, hold that thought. And then I will.
And I'm not using ruby dust because I always thought that was stupid. It's going to be various.
Oh yeah, very well. Well, for my character, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it probably something in the herbal vein.
Well,
so.
actually, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, I think I may have removed the material
No,
component.
no, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you didn't. But it's mistletoe and sprig of spruce is what's listed. So yeah, that makes total sense. So yeah, so you see Reba pull out a small little twig and some ash, and then it's pass without trace has been cast
So you add 10 to your upcoming
to
stealth
all
roll.
stealth rolls, and the hopefully muffling the moving the bed.
Well,
why I
no,
wanted to cast
because the bed you can pick up and move
Okay,
between 2 and 3 of you, so you don't have to drag it on the floor.
point.
They,
Okay, but
to
when
be
we go
fair,
out
you
the window-
probably started pushing it, and it would have been
Yeah.
Aloy, the intelligent one, going, wait,
Mhm.
no, this is inefficient and noisy.
Yeah, good
No,
point. Okay, so up and boom, and as we go out,
Yeah.
pass without trace.
Okay, so I would like stealth rolls from all 3 of you. Remember to add, you're
With a
adding,
plus 10.
yeah, but I can add those in my head, so.
Fair enough. All right.
Oh my god.
13. So I'm at 23 with this one.
All right, and I had to get back to the right page. 29.
These two, with the dark hair and the dark skin and the dark
Mhm.
clothes, just vanish. Jillian is blonde and her leathers are pale, and she's got that very much, defender of the white thing going on. She's a little harder to hide, but on the whole, if she sort of wedges between these two, she can manage. But frankly, Reba can basically feel the white boy god rage emanating from this one,
Uh-huh.
and her spell
Yeah.
is the only reason that it's not getting noticed by like everyone in town right now.
At which point she's just very quietly going, this child, this child, this child. Except this time about Jillian.
You manage to get down and you get across the town to the churchyard, and Muffin is still sitting in sad waiting dog.
And
Whoop,
pets,
whoop,
pets, pets.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Aloy, she grabs her arm.
And
Stop it!
very, 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 very quietly.
She continues on towards the church, looking for the basement door.
There's a storm cellar door that.
Yeah, I guess so, door.
Yeah, Muffin is not actually very far from it because it was better to be sort of more out of sight. I think Muffin may have slightly more wisdom than Aloy does.
Muffin,
Not hard.
Muffin, keep an eye out, and if you see anybody coming straight towards that door, besides us, whistle. Don't do it now. Only then. Good, Muffin. Pets, 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 pets.
Jillian waves her over impatiently
I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming.
and looks to the door. Is it locked? Or like chain
You-
locked?
It's not chained from the outside.
And then
I
Jillian.
need to try the door.
It is barred from the inside, which is probably the best indicator you could have that someone's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they went out through the front, so that's another possibility.
Going to tap shaving a haircut bits on it.
And after a moment, very quietly, from the other side of the door. Nothing else, so just waiting.
Jillian leans in to try to speak through the crack in the door. And then, Sister Mary, I am here in the name of God. If you would kindly let us in.
Oh, you are at least.
There was a moment, and then very quietly, step back. Let me have a look at you.
And she steps back.
There's a moment, and then get in quick before someone sees you.
Yeah.
Complying.
Yeah.
In we go.
29 stealth? Yeah. Zip.
Yeah.
She's Sister Mary Celeste is and she's not wearing her habit at the moment, but she got her rosary clasp bracelet style around her wrist at the moment. She's probably about Aloy's age, so quite young. Probably just, probably only just came out when this first started. She's clearly lost a few pounds this last week or so, but she started out that sort of young, fresh-faced, pretty kind of thing, and she's very, very nervous. I imagine that only one of you is actually technically here in the name of the Almighty. Although, I suppose they do say that there's many paths.
Yes, so I've seen. But I
Not
would make a
not the one not the
demonstration.
one this town is on. And no, I didn't reckon that there's a sense about you that any display you might make would be a little bit louder than I'd like right now.
That's why I'm hoping I don't have to prove anything. But
These
we
two
are
aren't
here to
exactly
help.
subtle.
You got the friendliest little pot-bellied stove-on legs I ever did see.
Built it myself
He's
That's
adorable.
Muffin.
Why Muffin?
because he's my muffin.
Ask them.
I suppose
Sister,
that's as good a reason as any. Listen, let me have some civilized conversation I haven't had in a week. I could do with just a little bit of friendly before I get down to business.
Oh,
Jillian's a little impatient, but she nods.
well,
Okay.
I'm going to set up a little thing so that we don't get jumped. Hold on, I can actually make this lock really sturdy, and I'm gonna try and cast arcane lock on the door.
Okay.
Is, is there
You don't need to roll for it. It's
yeah? Is there any kind of password you want for this?
uh, at this point, because we are getting on, I'm going to say if she does give one, it is probably something religious, and we'll leave it
Mm-hmm.
there. That that's a noise.
You don't get used to it.
It will do what she says it does.
I figured that, but how are you gonna get out? Oh, password, right. Uh, why are you here? Why would anyone come to this place?
It's
We
what I do.
are here to scour the from this town.
You broke up badly there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say that again.
we are here to scour the profane from this earth, or this town, at least.
Uh, all right. I think you all might be a little bit at odds there, ma'am. Politely to Reba, would you like to rephrase that in less of a zealous way? It might make you feel better.
When people be messing with things they shouldn't have been messing with, I usually have to clean it up.
So same path, same destination, different paths. I,
It's
I can.
bad juju. If it's bad juju, it kind of needs to explode.
Well, there's the thing. We didn't think about explosives. Then again, I
Oh,
wouldn't even know where to start with them.
I do.
Except, of
So
course,
this
you do
Sister,
that, and the entire town is gonna go after you. I think I think we've only got 3, 4 people left in this town that aren't
Aren't
entirely
completely
behind
Lulu.
mm-hmm.
aren't entirely behind this. They're normally sane and sensible folk, but you live this long trying to scrape a living out of Earth that don't want to cooperate. Anything that gives you a better shot. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people just hope the deacons got out all right.
Jillian just shakes her head. Can you tell us exactly how this all started?
It's a, all we know for sure is after the suicide, the statue of Alice. Alice, the statue, started crying. Folks called it a miracle. And they weren't sure what to make of it at first, but after a day or so had passed and the statue stopped crying, they noticed that things on the outskirts of town, the closest farms, were perking up some. And the mayor tried leaving it was his fancy service pistol, I think. He broke it against the base of the statue and she cried some more. Not much. It was a start. Folks started leaving, breaking, burning some of the things that mattered most to them. It wasn't doing as much as the suicide did. So one fella from the far outskirts of town, he was going under. His kids were starving. So he went and he was the second suicide. We soon ran out of willing at least for a while. But when we didn't get anyone willing, we got folks taken by force.
Who ordered that?
That's assuming that uh, you could say any one person ordered it. It doesn't work like that. It's a mob mentality. I mean,
Oh no, this really is a cult.
Mm-hmm.
the so-called preacher that runs this church was he resisted it at first, but his congregation was he was eventually convinced that the Almighty was working through this, and he was always a bit of a sinners in the hands of an angry God type.
Oh boy, the kind that need to get kind of
So
buffered to
he
stop
was
from
the
doing
one that
stupid.
started suggesting the sinners, the ungodly. You may have noticed if you were at the saloon, we don't have much in the way of what I hear about some city saloons.
No, they don't. I
We
think card
had
games are any good.
we had we had a couple of gamblers, some ladies you could pass the time with for a fee. They went away.
And it was the preacher who decided who was taken to the statue.
At first, the mayor got in on the action fairly soon. We don't have a lot of crime, but he saw it as a great way of getting rid of the criminal element. And of course, we didn't have that much criminal element to start with. We pulled in a couple of cattle rustlers, but most even them they don't spend that much time in this area, from what I hear. Mostly because we ain't been worth robbing. Might change with things going so well. We might have more people trying to rob us, but I think even raiders and cattle rustlers know that when something's too good to be true, you keep a wide berth.
Yeah, and this smells like 100% ghost rock. Maybe that statue's made of it.
It might be. It's not really my area of expertise. I'll have to
When
take
was
a
that?
look at that.
When was that statue put up?
It's always been there.
But
If
this was the first time there was. But this was the first suicide that ever took place near it.
yeah, I mean, who most who would shoot themselves in front of a statue of an 8-year-old girl?
Someone really messed up, that's who.
We've been lucky then that we hadn't had anyone that messed up until just recent.
Jillian looks to Aloy. You reckon the ghost rock could mess up someone's mind without any other sort of
Ghost rock can do a lot of
influences?
things. Would I be able to get a more accurate guess here?
That one again, Arcana check.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
22.
If I can find it. There it is. 17.
Yeah, you guys know it wouldn't be technically the ghost rock exactly, because ghost rock can do good and do bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's what can channel through the ghost rock. Some of the things from outside.
Mm-hmm.
They find it they because it's a natural magical channel. Things use it.
Yep.
That ain't just a ghost rock. That's
Yeah, it's something coming through that shouldn't be coming through.
because it's a channel.
Again.
Because it's a
So
channel, and
Is it inside the statue?
Well, if the statue's made of this stuff, the statue is basically the path.
it's essentially a giant. Okay, is this a world where we have telegrams yet?
Yeah.
Basically, you know how telegrams go through wires?
Jillian nods, but she does not know other than the fact that it does.
Okay, basically, if that
It's a
statue is
hallway.
pure, if that's pure ghost rock, basically think of it as the biggest wire in all existence, and a
Actually,
huge as it can go through.
when Reba breaks into your ramblings with "it's a hallway," that's actually a closer analogy because a wire will just let a message through. With Ghost Rock, what can happen with it as a conduit is it can start as a wire, but you power it enough with enough of the right, or in this case, wrong things, it can become a hallway. So instead of just messages coming through, things can come through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Reba's right.
It's a hallway, and not to put too fine a point on it. It's a crossroads.
It's a lot of things that you don't want coming through it.
So we're gonna have to destroy the statue, of course, and deal with the mayor and the preacher. Jillian, Reba.
Probably just about everyone else in town.
That's what it
Blow,
takes.
blow it up and run.
If we're
But
I'm assuming
there's still a few folks that
Yeah, we got to get those people out of here.
Yeah.
they still got sacrifices. They're
Mm-hmm.
in the they're in the town jail.
Yep.
Okay, then we are gonna have
how
to do.
many, when they bring out the sacrifices, I'm assuming the town watches.
No, they don't need
Yeah.
to.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, they got a couple of guards keep people from running, but they caught a running family.
Oh hell no!
Maud, Elijah, their three kids.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, we're getting them out.
we are getting them out.
Yes, we are.
I've been trying to
So
formulate a plan in that regard, but when I saw off the deacons, I lost most of the last bits of my help. But Jane and Matthias, I didn't want them in the line of fire.
they made it out okay. They're actually the reason we're here. We ran into them. Well, not literally, but we saw them at the about a
I
day's
made sure
walk.
their wagon was completely fixed and they could get even further faster.
Yep.
Oh, the Hostler's Rest.
Yeah.
I stopped there on my way into town at first. I kind of hope I see that place again.
It's still okay. There were some
I'm
field hands that did a bit of a number there, but
start getting explosives together. That
Well,
statue needs.
I'm sorry, but y'all aren't your usual traveling party, and some of the folks out there they spend so much time in wide open fields that's like their minds have to become real narrow to compensate.
Sister, if we destroy the statue and that's going to get a lot of attention, how many do you figure will be coming out to the town square?
maybe we use that as a distraction to help just for so sister can get the families out
They'll be
or
coming
get family
in
out.
from the fields. I imagine explosions quite loud, and it's
Oh.
still a flat land that's going to carry. You'll
Mm-hmm.
be bringing in there's about 20 odd people in town, and you'll be bringing in a good 30 odd, including the field hands from.
Are they coming in now? Would they be coming in from where the jail cell is?
No, they be coming in from their fields, depending on when you're doing it.
Mm.
But keep in mind, they got good horses, and
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't make it to town before you can get out, they're approaching from all sides,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna block anybody's attempt to escape. The kids
And
are
Including yeah.
the kids are 12, 8, and 5.
Yeah, that ain't gonna
they're
happen.
all
Family's priority. We get them sorted first, and while you two are handling that, I have a very big boom prepared.
and all these 30 odd people, they're going to be armed.
I imagine so. I mean, there's always something
They're
you
they're
gotta shoot.
farmers. There's always something close
They'll
to hand.
have something, yeah.
Just making sure.
So, but if not just one big boom, I can make multiple booms and set up a few others.
Could. No, that family in the jail cell, they're the only ones
As far as I know,
really worth saving.
I imagine there's some way out on the outskirts that if they heard a boom, they just run in the opposite direction. But
Can I make any kind of an insight or arcana check roll of some sort
for
I'm trying to determine if the statue is destroyed, if that's going to, well, the people aren't brainwashed. It ain't about that.
Yeah.
So that's not going to affect anything.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
they're gonna be
yeah,
pissed you killed their town.
yeah, basically. Yeah. See, the problem we're dealing with is this was all willing. Well, so there's
Better
no
they loot the
brainwashing.
town than
There's no effect.
I
Tell that
imagine
to
I,
them.
ima- I imagine there might have been a little bit of nudging at first.
The thing
It
is,
it
if
felt it
these
felt
folk are just
Let her finish,
hungry and desperate,
please.
and they're not going to fight this hard as if
Jillian.
they were held to something evil.
Jillian.
This is important.
well. First of all, I think there might have been a little nudge at first. It backed off. It felt wrong for maybe a day, but sometimes that's all it takes. Point is, if just because they're hungry and they're desperate, they were hungry and desperate, and now they ain't no more. And the reason, as far as they can see, is that thing. Now I agree with you, it needs to go. But you gotta understand that they are gonna want your blood. They're gonna hope like hell that the sacrifice of the people who destroyed it might earn them some clemency from whatever twisted version of the Lord they're worshiping at the minute.
Yes, and what I mean is that if they are in the town center, I can instill the fear of the true God into them, and that might scare off some of them.
It might. At the same time,
I'm trying really out of out of character at this point. At this point, I'm thinking Reva's probably trying not to chuckle.
And
be like,
then you might get mobbed by everyone else.
I
You're one person.
we we
Jillian.
we worship the same God. I think he still has work, at least for you. Maybe me too. We'll have to see. He moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform, and this ain't one of them. This weeping Alice.
It ain't natural, I can tell you that.
What I will say is that you had best be prepared to be his actual wrath.
Oh, I am prepared.
We have come to that time,
Mm-hmm.
by the way. I knew this was going to take longer than one
Yeah.
session.
Oh
but
no, this is great. This is so much
I
fun.
love
Yeah.
this.
We'll pick this up again next week because I don't want us to lose momentum on it.
Yeah, I'm good
And
with
I
that.
mean, we have this time set aside for a thing anyway. And
we're in between stuff in Star Wars anyway, so
yeah,
we're good.
and also just so you know, so that you're not worried about losing place or anything, I have been recording this,
Okay.
so
Yay.
you can keep up with it, because I figured if we were gonna make this a series of episodic things when we weren't running something else, it'd be good to have as reference to see where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
You got Aloy going full tick tick boom, motherfuckers.
And on
Yeah,
that,
meanwhile Reva's over here just going, look at you! What the really? Really?
on
Really?
that note,
Really?
I'll see you guys tomorrow for D&D.
Yep.
Okay, so
Take care, everybody.